loves, welcome back to TigeraGitana. My name is Abby, and today this is going to be a very quick video that we're about to do, but we are going to be discussing three powerful ways to strengthen your connection with your spirit guides. Okay, so this is a patron voted video, and you guys know the drill. They vote, I do, that's how it goes. But they voted on this specific video for the week, so this is what we're gonna cover, and I'm really excited to just get into it. So the first tip that I want to mention, I think that goes hand in hand into strengthening your relationship with your ancestors, has to be 1000%, 1000% asking your spirit guides to give you signs, like actual visible signs throughout the day. So for example, if you are kind of, you know, hoping to get a positive answer, maybe you apply for a job, or you you know, maybe you don't pull tarot or whatever it is, and you're just like looking for, like, you just went in for an interview and you're like looking for a sign to see if it actually while you're like, hey spirit, like, please let me know, give me a sign on what I should expect. If what you guys hear in the background is my kitten Luna fighting the door and the curtain of, like, in the other side of the room. That's what's happening. So if you guys hear a song, I apologize. If you guys hear some sounds, I apologize. That's my kitten. She's like playing hide and seek with herself. She's so cute. Anyway, so asking for a sign, asking for spirit to show you, to communicate with you in a different way that you are used to communicating with spirit. Especially, like, be sure that you're analyzing the way that you already speak to those spirit guides specifically. But when you're saying, hey, you know, if you're working with whoever, XYZ, whoever it is, and you're like, hey, insert spirit guide here, can you please give me a sign into this situation? Is there something else that I need to know? Is there, what is surrounding this energy? Show me something, show me, and then ask for, you can also ask for a specific sign as well. It's like, oh, show me a blue butterfly if this is something that is meant for me, if this is something that is good for me, or show me a crow if I need to release this energy or something like that. Like, you can also connect it with also animal spirits as well, but you can ask to be shown a sign for whatever situation it is that you feel like you need clarity on, which is a really powerful way to strengthen your relationship. Because when you, the biggest thing about strengthening your relationship with spirit is that when you are getting those kind of like confirmations where you like, you see that blue butterfly and you're like, immediately that creates a deeper bond, because you know that they have your back, you know that they're listening, you know that, you know, they're moving things around to set things in place for you to notice. It's not just for nothing. And I feel like when that kind of things happens, it's just, it creates this kind of like, whoa, I feel like heard. I feel heard. I feel like we have a relationship. You're listening to what I'm saying. You're listening to what I'm asking. So thank you for that. And it enhances and strengthens the relationship between you and spirit very, very deeply right off the bat, because not only are they able to prove their worth to you, but you're also able to see that it can come to life. It's like, it's definitely like a manifestation, but it's something that brings and amplifies a connection that you have with spirit. The next one that we're going to talk about is getting to know your spirit guides as well. And this one should have been the first one, but I wanted to talk about the first one first, so we're just gonna go with it. Okay. So getting to know your spirit guides. This one is specifically important because you want to know who you're talking to, what they like on their altar. Do they want an altar? Do they want what offerings do they like? If they want an altar, what their voices sound like, what they look like if you meditate and you have like that third eye open, what their writing style is, like if you're kind of getting a message and you're just like writing it down, or you're doing automatic writing, for example, then you want to kind of get to know what that energy of that spirit guide feels like. So when you're in the moment, you're like, oh, I know it's you. It's kind of like having like a very close, somebody who's close to you, having that touch. So I know how my mom writes, I know what she likes, I know what, so you already kind of have this rapport with that person, with that spirit. So when you have this connection with them, you're like, oh, I know what you feel like, I know what you like. It's almost like asking a friend, like, oh, I know what they're into. Oh, get them this type of beer, get them this type of drink, because I know I already have that connection with them, because I took the time to know them, not just, oh, popped out a candle and be like, oh, I want to manifest XYZ blah, 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 next week. You know, it's about connecting with them. You can also ask them to reveal information to you in different ways. So for example, like dream work, for example, is another one, and showing you signs, like what we talked about in the beginning. You can ask them to say, hey, can you show me something that you want me to see from you. What do I need to know from you? What do you want me to be aware of about our energy, our connection, our work together? Like, show me these type of signs. Let me get to know you, and also show me what you want me to see as well. And that comes in and strengthens your connection with spirit, because it's kind of like again, building this relationship, this friendship with your spirit guides, where it's like, you know them, you know them, and you know what they feel like, you know what it's like really like having a group like of best friends, and you're just like, oh, that's what she's into, that's what she's into, like, I know her, like, I know and you feel that like connection where you're like, oh, I know this. That strengthens your relationship, because this is somebody that you're like invested in. This connection is something that you are invested in, and it's something that equally, it's a work to each other. It's not necessarily one person putting all the energy in or anything like that. It's both parties are working together to evolve through life and stuff, and really take things up to the next level, and really grow and progress. Especially on a spiritual level, because spirit guides do help you on a spiritual level. So then when you have this strong connections with them, and you understand who you're talking to, what they sound like, especially when you're meditating, if you're a newbie witch, and you are trying to kind of figure out like who your ancestor voice, like how your ancestor voices sound like, how your spirit guides sound like, how, and ancestors are also spirit guides, but how your angels sound like, how different gods and goddesses sound like to you, how saints sound like to you, how like demons sound like to you. Like you do have to get to the point where you are distinctive about it, because your mom doesn't sound the same as your sister, and your dad doesn't sound the same as your sister. They all have a different voice, and it's the same with spirit guides. They all have different voice and a different purpose, and you should have you should build this relationship with them where it's not you know, like mysterious, and you're just kind of like, you build up an altar, but you don't really know like how to work with them completely, but you know, you follow something on YouTube or something, you build an altar for them, but you're still kind of like not knowing how to work with them, not knowing what they like, not understanding their energy, and kind of being in the in-between of it all. And they appreciate when you have a connection with them. They appreciate when you take the time to get to know them. They appreciate when you ask them to like, hey, can you show me, can you just send me a sign? Like, even those send me a sign like messages, when you're asking spirit, like, hey, send me a sign that I'm on the right path, send me a sign that I need to make this decision, that this is the right thing to do. Especially if you're not doing it with tarot or cards or pulling or anything like that, when you're just getting those direct messages from spirit, it is a very beautiful, beautiful thing, because you're able to really connect with your spirit guides without having to do all of this other stuff. It's just like, hey, you know, this is what I need to know if this is right. This is the sign that I would like to receive. And then receiving that sign, that's just like a huge confirmation. So those are two of my favorite ways to strengthen my connection with spirit. Now, the other way that I like to strengthen my connection with spirit is, once I get to kind of know them, and have this kind of like relationship with them as well, I really start getting into kind of like a routine with spirit. I kind of take it upon myself to work. I don't work with the same spirits every single day either. I kind of work with different spirits on certain specific days. So like, for example, Santa Marta, I work with her on specific days on the week, and then some days of the week I don't work with her on those days. And it's almost like kind of like weirdly having like office hours or something like that. And it's not like, you know, like, yes, you put spirit to work in a lot of the time, but it's mainly like there's certain days that I really want to connect and work with the energy of that spirit, and then there's certain days that I'm just like, it's like rest. It's a rest time. I'm going to still do libations. I'm still going to, you know, do my offerings and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go about, you know, doing anything like extra with that specific spirit. So I take it upon myself to kind of, I don't want to call it like a calendar, and I don't want to make it too complicated for you guys, but I do, especially if you, once you start, I feel like, especially if you're a newbie, which when you have like, when you're working like even with like 2 spirits or maybe even 3 at one point, if you're just working with one, then obviously you will kind of have to figure out your timing for it. But I work with a lot of different spirits, and so for that I really take it upon myself. Every day when I do libations, I obviously do libations for all of them, but there'll be specific days that I'm like, I'm gonna work with Santa Muerte, even though Santa Muerte is very universal. You can work with her really at any time. But there'll be specific days that I'm working with Saint Expedite. There'll be specific days that I'm working with Yamaya. There'll be specific days where I'm really saying, okay, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to like accomplish? What is my main goal? What am I trying to work with? What is my intention? What does that connect to? The other really, really big way that you can strengthen your relationship with them is by also trying to master their energy that they bring forth to you. Because a lot of the time, they'll be really good at that one thing, and you will have to kind of learn that that's really that thing that they're good at doing, and that's how they kind of, you know, help. Like I've had spirits where, and then this is also a factor which I'm gonna make a separate video about. But when you're picking up spirits in different places, because that does happen, and no, you don't have to keep all of them or to any capacity, but there are spirits that you pick up because they follow you, because you could just be randomly walking down a block somewhere that you never turned into before, and then there'll just be a spirit there, and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go with this, I'm gonna go with her, I'm gonna go. And then you'll, like, if you are very intuitive and very and you have that connection where you can speak to spirit, you'll kind of pick that up. You'll know that you picked something up. And a lot of the time you can either, like, you know, say thank you but no thank you, and they just kind of move forward. Or you can, if you would like to bring them in your circle, then you have to go through the process of getting to know them. And this is when you start building that relationship and asking those questions, and trying to strengthen your connection. And you have to really take the time and say, okay, well, what is it that you like? What do you not like? What's your name? Like, what, like all of these things, like what, and then you're like feeling their energy. What do they feel like? Especially if it's like a spirit that used to be human, but it's not one of your ancestors. Those specific spirits, I go astrological, like full-blown astrological, and I'm like, okay, what sign are you? Like, I'll just go straight, like, what was your last sign in this lifetime? Like, I'll go straight into that information, because it'll help me understand how it can work with them. And if they're really good with one specific thing, which happens sometimes, like there's been spirit guides that I've picked up while out in nature that happen to be just like really like nature spirits, and their forte is surrounded by like nature magic and working with the earth. And so when I am working with the earth, I call on those spirits, but I also have to get to know them. What part of the earth do they like to work with? What is it that they what are their strengths? How can they help me? How do they help me ground, especially with the earth? And in how many different ways can I kind of work with them? Can I work with them through herbs? Is it like more grounding? Is it like, should I be doing my rituals outside with them? Is that the way that they feel more comfortable working with me? So you have to go in and really ask these questions and try to get to know them in a way where it's productive for the both of you, where you're building that relationship and not just kind of like, you know, oh, I have an altar, and oh, you know, I'm changing the water every day, and that's, you know, you're just lighting a candle here and there. It's a little bit more productive because you are building a relationship and you're strengthening that. And the stronger that you make it, the better that it is for the both of you, because you guys can work better together. And once you have that relationship built with those spirit guides, it's literally like having a best friend, but just on the spiritual level, where you're just like, oh, what else should I add to this? And then you'll just get that voice in your head. You're like, boom, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to add this, blah, blah, blah. They'll be able to really connect with you and guide you seamlessly without any kind of problems or any kind of things getting in the way of anything. So yeah, those are the three, like the ones that I'm going to talk about today anyway. The three tips on how to strengthen your relationship with spirit. I hope that made sense. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Let me know if you definitely try some of these. I definitely think that they work really, really well, and there's things that I've done every time, especially if I'm working with a new spirit and I'm integrating it. I go into interrogation mode. I ask lots of questions because I'm trying to get to know them, and that's really what you need to do. Is like you kind of going on a date. You got to get to know. You got to know what's going on, what you like, you don't like, all these type of things. So it's really, really important. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Do not forget to ring the bell so you get notified every time I upload. And also don't forget to check out the Patreon, because they did vote for this video, and you guys know they vote for a video every single week. And we're still learning and growing over there. And I'm really excited because I just got my Reiki Masters certification. So I can't wait to do more energy healing work with them. And yes, lots of stuff, full circle stuff happening today. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a beautiful night.